Everybody, welcome back to another episode of DFS Fantasy NFL Picks. I'm your host, Megaroar31. We're going to look at the Thursday night game, which is the Giants in San Francisco. And again, we've seen some real duds in some of these primetime games. It's not the NFL's fault. They don't know like what's going to happen, when they make the schedule. But here you have New York Giants team that got completely destroyed, shut out, was it 41-0 in week one. They were down, but actually had a comeback at the end and actually beat the Cardinals, who are trying to go in 17 and lose and get the first round draft pick. And they lost one of their best offensive players. So they should San Francisco is favored by 10.5 right now. And I don't even know if that's enough. San Francisco has been out there on autopilot, just absolutely running over opponents. First Pittsburgh, then the Rams. Now the Giants are the next year. So in cash, I definitely see people playing 4 or 5 San Francisco pieces. That's fine. It's just figuring out what giant piece to run it back with. And the other choice too in cash is McCaffrey has played, I believe, close to every snap so far this season, which isn't ideal. But he's been out there. He's been very productive. He's scoring touchdowns, which is what we look for. He's getting yards, he's been catches, he's doing everything he has done since like he left the Carolina Panthers, and he was like probably most of your number 1 overall draft picks in your season-long fantasy leagues. So he's expensive. So if you're going to captain him, you're going to have to pay for it. So you're going to need some cheap pieces. So like I said, I like him in cash as the captain. I think he's got the highest upside, the highest floor. And I understand that you only have $4,733 left. If you do captain him and then you take Jones and San Francisco defense, which I'm recommending here, Jones, I think, has the best potential here, because even though you do have Breda coming in as a running back, as a backup for Barkley, who's going to be out, Jones is probably going to be running a lot. He's going to be throwing the ball a lot, and the offense is going to run through him. So there's a lot of upside for him in cash games. And then the San Francisco D, we saw what the Dallas D did to the Giants. I don't think they're going to have 2 defensive scores, but I mean, the potential is always there. Shutdowns, sacks, interceptions. It's just they've got a great pass rush, they've got a solid defense. So I think that they're definitely something that I want to look at in cash with McCaffrey. And it makes sense too, because if the defense is dominating, then McCaffrey's there running out the clock. And then I think Jones is the best way to run it back. Usually I'd say like pick a kicker, pick another or like a wide receiver if they're going to be down, if they're going to throw and catch. But I don't know. The Giants could score, I think Vegas has them anywhere between 14 and 17 points. I just don't even know if that's enough. So I really don't like Gano. I don't know if if they're that far behind, they're not going to need field goals. And will they even get in scoring range? So I don't think I really want to run it back with him. I'm not touching the Giants D. I mean, that is a super contrarian play here. So, and Breida, I'm okay with that. And that gives you 5,800 if you're more comfortable with that, with the build with McCaffrey as captain in San Francisco D. And Breida is a backup, but he's a good backup. He's one that has started before. He catches balls out of the backfield. He's he's not like a superstar, but he's not like somebody that is low on the depth chart that they're just throwing out there and hoping it works out, or a young rookie that doesn't have much NFL experience. He is somebody that can actually be productive here in cash games. So how do we round out your cash lineups? Well, I like Moody, the San Francisco kicker. Even if it's a blowout and it's 35-0, then that's at least 5 extra points that he's kicked. So there's some floor there, I think. And then like the other question is like, can you get Purdy in the lineup? And I see a priority. He's more of a game manager, and he's got a lot of weapons around him. So I think he's safer in cash games than trying to pick a wide receiver, because you don't know how the ball is going to be spread out. But we do have a little bit of insight here, because we have to keep in mind that Ayuk is injured, and he has an AC joint sprain, which is in his shoulder. And with that, he was in pain in week 2, but he played through it. But the question is did it get any better? Did it get any worse? Is he going to go out there and play in this game? Does he need to go out there and play this game? If they're favored by this much and they have so many other weapons, why not rest him on Thursday, which is a short week? And he's going to have a lot of rest, like 10 days before they play next week on Sunday, and by then he should be much healthier and ready to go. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't anticipate him playing. So if he doesn't, that means Samuel is a decent play, and you're saving like $600 from Purdy to go there. Or if you want to, I know I have him marked in the GPP fill-ins, but Jennings could be a very good play also, because he'll move up to the wide receiver too, and he's only 4,800. So it's definitely, a great price point for cash. So if I'm looking at some fill-ins here, and it's Moody at 4,200, and then I take Jennings at 4,800, I'm still staying around like the amount that I have left. And I don't know what that gives me, but I should be able, if I use like one of those or two of those guys, I might not get Purdy in unless I'm playing Breda, but it definitely is giving me some floor in a cash lineup that helps me to get McAfee as a captain. If I'm looking at another giant piece here, I'm probably in cash going to look at Waller if I can get him in, because I think that if it's going to be a thing where he doesn't have any time and he's got to throw, then I'm looking for like receivers that run underneath, that are in the slot. And then I'm looking for like somebody that's a quick outlet. So Breda makes sense to pair with Jones also, or Waller, I think, is a little bit more expensive. They're like $400 a piece. But in the game script, if he's got to get the ball out quick, who's he going to go into? Probably his running back, probably his tight end, and probably a guy that runs most routes underneath, and that would be Campbell. And Campbell, I have down in the punts, but I think definitely isn't playing cash. Also, he's only 4,400. So there's somebody else that has had some target share from him and could be a definite outlet. Now, the whole rest of the Giants like receiving core is just an absolute mess, because you have Slayton and Hodgkins there, talented guys. Hyatt is the guy that played for Tennessee, that's a rookie, that's a real burner. Sterling Shepard's somewhere still in the mix, probably holding a clipboard on the sideline. I don't think he's playing, but Waddell Robinson, who was a really good receiver last year and tore his ACL, should be coming back soon too. So if he's in the mix, like, who knows? So out of all of them, it's going to be risky, but I think Campbell is, no matter who is active and who is playing, is the one that we've seen run the most routes. That would probably be easy if it's a quick release to get him the ball. And even if he doesn't get a bunch of yardage at his price, if he catches like 5 balls and just gets like, five catches for 50 yards, I mean, that might give you enough for what you need. It's not going to be a 0. It could be, it's a variant sport. So anything could happen there. So that's where I'm going with my cash build. So GPP, I think I'm going to either go like Purdy, Samuel, Purdy, especially if Ayuk is out. If Ayuk's in, he might be limited. I still might go there. And I think I'll put with Jennings. So I kind of really want like a passing San Francisco stack. And in this GPP one, I have enough money to get McCaffrey in, but I think I might fade him just in case something happens. Just in case, like, I don't want another situation like Chubb where he gets injured and something catastrophic, but maybe he's just not as productive, or maybe they're really what Shanahan said, where he really wants to get Elijah Mitchell more involved. And Mitchell is another great cash play that you can throw in there. He is very cheap. He's only 2,400, and he can definitely go in your lineup with the San Francisco D, and it makes sense in the game script. If McCaffrey's going to be the early guy, run, and then they get up in third quarter, they rest all the starters, the D is still going to be out there because they always play. And you're going to maybe see Mitchell come in and just like in garbage time, just pound the ball away, and those yards add up. And at 2,400, even without a touchdown, if he gets like 40, 50, 60 yards, a couple catches and stuff, it might definitely be very beneficial. So that's where I'm looking at cash. But in GPP, I really want a San Francisco stack here. So I might probably hope that maybe McCaffrey, there's up so much that McCaffrey only plays like half the game, and I can get enough points being different between like Samuel, Purdy, and Jennings if Ayuk's out. If Ayuk's in, then I might have to reconsider this. I might go McCaffrey in this. But if not, what I think I might do is GPP it as if it's a shootout, not as a shootout, but that like the Giants have a little bit more teeth than we thought they did. So I think I will go like Samuel Purdy, but then I'll take Jennings out if Ayuk is in, and I think I will put in Jones and like Waller, Jones and Campbell, and have like a combination there. So I'll have both quarterbacks with the wide receiver that I trust the most, and then I'll throw in the rest of my line, like whatever fits to make it work. So again, if Campbell's probably gonna be popular, his price point, and if other people are looking at him running those underneath routes and being a good option if you don't have much time to get the ball out, then Slayton's definitely going to be contrarian. And I said Gano and the Giants are also going to be contrarian. Kittle's also a GPP play. He really has not done much this year. Maybe this is the game where it does happen. So who knows? I think he's always there lurking, but he's a GPP more than a cash play because he just hasn't been a priority in this offense. I know he's been a little bit banged up. He's the talent, everything's still there. He can always poach a touchdown or two. So in a GPP, maybe, if you're doing like the whole San Francisco stack and you want to try to the capture mode and get as many like offensive players as you can, then Purdy is captain or Samuel or whoever you want, and then like Jennings, Kittle, and just like go with a bunch of wide receivers there, and then whatever giant to run it back with works. So my GPP2, I'm going with the San Francisco D. Like I said, we saw what Dallas did, and Dallas is a defensive captain there. I believe took down a bunch of the GPPs there in week 1 in the showdown. So I think what makes most sense is pair both running backs there with Mitchell and McCaffrey. And then with the San Francisco D, gives you 8,500 left. So you can get both quarterbacks in. You can get like, there's so many different like combinations that you can add in there to make that work. But I really like that as a contrarian GPP. Mildly contrarian. The super contrarian ones are on the right side of the screen. I'll get to that in a second. But that's a lot of salary left that helps you get some good pieces in. So some of the punts, like we already talked about, Mitchell being a good one and Campbell both for cash. But if you want to go even deeper, backup tight ends, sometimes if you need a punt play, I recommend Bellinger for the Giants and Dwelly for San Francisco as ones that you can just throw on the line if you are down to the point where you have a couple $100 left and need to put somebody in. One's $800 and the other one's $200. So I think if you're like really looking to capture lightning in a bottle, or like, blind squirrel finds a nut, I think those plays there too. And then if something happens and Mitchell isn't working out, then not Mitchell, Breida, then Gary Brightwell is the backup to him, and then Gray is the third string running back for the Giants, if you want to throw some of those in there. And the people that threw some of the second and third string running backs in on the Monday night GPPs really did well. So that's something to consider. So looking at contrarian builds, what if the Giants aren't? Maybe what if San Francisco has an off night, and what if the Giants actually put it together? So Jones is a captor. Give me Waller as his main target there, and then I'll probably run it back with Samuel or Purdy or both as a contrarian, and then just fill in with whatever. I don't think I can get to McCaffrey in this build because you only have like 5-9 to 6-1 left, and if you plug him in, you're gonna be down into the Bellinger, Dwelly, Brightwell, Gray. But I mean, hey, if you think this is the way it's going to go, and Jones is going to score a lot of points, even though they're going to lose, Waller's going to be his main target, maybe catch a touchdown, Samuel and Purdy go off with McCaffrey, and then you just have a punt in there that just does enough to put you over the edge, then go for it. The other side of that, if you want to save a little bit more money and you have 8,100 left, Waller and Jones is definitely a build that you can look at. That's going to be contrarian, and then run it back with Campbell. So it's like all the Giants offense. And then that gives you a lot of money too to run it back with whatever you want to on the San Francisco side of it. And then, throw in, I think you're down into the kicker range. So you're probably going to throw in like Moody or something to finish off that lineup. And the final contrarian one I want to talk about is throw Elijah Mitchell. If he's going to get garbage time and stuff, and maybe poach a touchdown at the end, and against, if the Giants have given up and have the second string defense out there, and he just breaks one, he doesn't get much playing time. I don't think he's going to like stop and not. I mean, maybe we'll get sportsmanship or whatever, but there's potential if there's still a lot of time just to maybe score a touchdown late in the game. For them. So, and he's super cheap, but he opens up, he almost gives you $9,000, and you can almost play anybody else that you want in the rest of your line. So I do like that as a third contrarian GPP. So that's what I got for you. The other thing I always say is, and it was right church, wrong pew on Monday night, because I always talk about every game, and I don't like it as much in this game because Tyrod Taylor's the backup for the Giants. If Jones goes down, I really don't see him coming out and like dominating the game. And Sam Darnold with the San Francisco offense really isn't one that inspires a lot of like, wow, there's this awesome dynamic backup could come in and steal the game. And, if I have him as captain, like I could take something down. I'm not feeling super confident in it. So I'll still probably play him in $1. Maybe I'll drop it down to like a 50-cent or 25-cent entry instead of wasting $1 on it, because I don't think this will work out. But as I was saying, right church, wrong pew. If I told you to take the backup running back as captain in Monday night slate, just think of, what would have happened, especially New Orleans when Williams went down and the backup comes in and I believe scored 2 touchdowns. So, there's a lot of ways to go. So you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to watch your bankroll. So I think, basically stick to San Francisco's McCaffrey at captain or Samuel Purdy or something like that in cash. Most likely that's the way the game's going to go. And then if you want to take some shots in GPP, and in like the $3.20 max or the $1.20 max, then I think, throw some of the rest of these lines in there. I have currently 15 lines with the different builds and stuff, but majority of my lines are like safe San Francisco builds with like McCaffrey, Purdy or Samuel, or the San Francisco D as captain. And I do have some of the more outlandish ones just in case that something weird happens and I can capitalize from it. But they're in lower dollar things. I'm okay losing that money, taking the shot, but more of my money, the way I play, is on the safer options. So they should cover the silly lineups that I might have thrown out there, and then still also build my bankroll on top of that. So that's what I got for you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me up at Megaro31 on Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it nowadays. If you want to get into the FSI football package, there's very reasonably priced things. You can go to description of the video and you can sign up on our website for that. We have season long, we have week coverage, and we have I think maybe even daily monthly coverage. So there's different packages there. So, and if these videos help you, you've helped by watching this far into the video, but if you want to help us a little more, give us a like, subscribe to our channel so you know the videos are coming out, and share with your friends. So thanks for watching. I will have a full breakdown on Saturday or Sunday morning sometime of NFL Week 3. So I look forward to doing that. And hopefully this starts off a great weekend for you. Hope you have a great Thursday night. Good luck in your contest. I'll see you next time.